Good morning, I hope you're well. Wow, have I got a treat for you today. To celebrate reaching 3,000 subscribers on YouTube, and a huge thank you for supporting the channel, I reached out to the best WordPress pros out there and asked them to tell us what stack they use when they're building WordPress websites. And the responses I got were just incredible. I was going to edit this video down, but there's just too much good stuff in here. But I have put chapter markers down here below so you can fast forward to specific sections or rewind back and watch it again. Huge thank you to everyone that took part. You'll see the names as you go through it. We've just got the biggest names in WordPress telling us how to build WordPress websites. I asked them 5 questions. What is their favorite WordPress plugins? What are their favorite WordPress themes? What is their favorite WordPress hosting? What is their favorite non-WordPress app that they use? And finally, Gutenberg Yes or No. So you're going to find this incredibly useful. I recommend get yourself a coffee or a cup of tea, slice a cake, and watch the whole thing. It's just fantastic content. So let's get into it. We're going to start with Paul over at WP Tuts. Over to you, Paul.
Just wanted to say a quick congratulations for your 3,000 YouTube subscribers, an absolutely fantastic milestone. So congratulations for reaching that and spreading a lot of useful information out there in the YouTube community. Okay, so you asked me, what are my favorite tools, my tech stack, those things that I can't live without? So I'm going to answer that question right now. So first of all, we've got one of my favorite plugins, and I'm only allowed to have 3 apparently, so I'll try to keep this concise. First up, we've got Admin Columns Pro. If you build websites with WordPress and you want to expand what your dashboard can offer, Admin Columns Pro is a great tool. The free version has tons of options, but the Pro version opens that up to even further cool things. Check it out. Next up, we've got dynamic content for Elementor. Anybody that knows me and knows my channel know that I love a little bit of dynamic content when it comes to WordPress. And this plugin just has a ton of options available inside it. The third and final option is ACF Frontend Forms Pro. This just means that I can create front-end dashboards for WooCommerce, WordPress, all those kinds of things quickly and easily, and get that into my clients' hands as quick as possible. 3 cool plugins that I would definitely recommend checking out. So next on the list is my favorite theme or themes. I'm allowed to have 3 again, but I'm only going to choose one because I don't really use themes that often. For me, Blocksy and Blocksy Pro are basically the theme that I would use right now for pretty much most jobs that don't require something to be built completely from scratch. It has a ton of options, integrates great with dynamic content, ACF, those kinds of tools, and is very intuitive and easy to use. So check that one out if you haven't already seen it. Now, favorite hosting. This is one of those things that's incredibly subjective. But for me, I'm going to give my nod, my recommendation to a company that I've been working with for probably 10 plus years, both in my freelance business as well as my previous business. And I still use them today with pretty much all of my clients, including a big chunk of my own websites. And that's a UK company called Klook. Why do I recommend them? Do they offer the best options? No, they're pretty much the same as most other companies, but what they do have is amazing technical support should you need it, which at some point you probably will need it. So if you're looking for a company that has great support available 24/7 and incredibly helpful, I would recommend checking out Klook. So the next question is, what non-WordPress tool do I recommend? And for this, I would have to say this would be Thrivecart. Now, Thrivecart gives me a great platform to build an online business around, and that's exactly what I've done. So I would recommend, if you're looking for an easy cart system that integrates into lots of different things, check out Thrivecart. And if you are in the online education area, they've also just released a new feature called Learn and Learn Plus. Now, if you are a Thrivecart user, you get access to Learn for free. And this is a very simple but growing online educational platform that opens up a ton of options if you want to provide these kinds of tools and education to users. So the final question is Gutenberg Yes or No? In my case, I have to say it's a yes and a no. The reasons are yes, because it's the future of what we're going to do with WordPress. So we kind of have to embrace this whether we like it or not. And it is getting slightly better. But no, because we still have to rely upon third-party tools to make it truly usable for most use cases. So for me, it's a yes and a no at the same time. So there we go, that's the tech stack that I use and recommend on a pretty regular basis. So That's hopefully answered the question. And once again, I just want to say congratulations on that 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. Here's to 10,000, 50,000 and beyond. Well, that's enough from me. Take care.
Hi there. My name is Chris Lema. I am a blogger over at chrislema.com. I'm also the GM for an online learning plugin called LearnDash. And now let's get into the questions. The first is, what are my favorite plugins and why? So I'll tell you the plugin that I put on every single site no matter what is a plugin called Code Snippets. It lets me put in all little bits of code, stuff you might normally put in a functions.php file, and I can turn them on and off as I like. It's a utility, but it's a super powerful utility. The second, another utility plugin that I use on just about every single site is Yoast, and often the premium version, but not always. And that's because I know at some point someone's going to write something and you want those gamified little green dots to turn on. So I love that SEO plugin. And the third is also a utility. And you might go, okay, what about an e-commerce plugin or forms plugin, whatever? But some of these utilities I just put on every single site. And so it's critical for me. I have a short list, and these are the ones I use all the time. And that would be the header footer code manager. Again, people are going to want to send me little scripts, turn on JavaScript here and there. And so I like having a clean place to put that. So those are the three plugins. Those are not the fancy or sexy plugins, not the most well-known plugins, but they're the ones that I use all the time. The second question, my favorite themes. That's an easy one. Blocksy, Astra, Cadence. Those three. In any order, right? All of them are a relatively newer wave of themes that have pro version plugins that go with it to enhance it. All of them are super lightweight. They often all have additional theme templates that let you get going faster. I love the code bases. I like that they're clean. I like the settings and configuration of what you can turn on and off. I think they're fabulous. The third, my favorite hosting. Well, I work for a hosting company called Liquid Web. They're the parent that owns LearnDash. I also spent the last 5 years building the managed WordPress and managed WooCommerce hosting over at nexus.net, which is owned by Liquid Web. So I would say that's my favorite, just because I've poured all sorts of time and energy into building some very cool and stand-apart features on the managed hosting side over there for WordPress and WooCommerce that some people don't even know about. All right, my favorite non-WordPress app or tool. Gotta be ZipMessage. ZipMessage is for asynchronous video. It's for all of my conversations. It's great for pre-sales. It's great for hiring. I've used it in pre-sales. I've used it in hiring. I've used it on qualification for coaching clients. I've used it in coaching. Like, I can't tell you how many different ways I've used ZipMessage, but it's my all-time favorite. And then question number 5, Gutenberg, yes or no? Yes, all the way yes. Took me a long time, took me 2 years to get to the point where I said, okay, I can give it a shot. I like it. I like how clean it is. The thing that I love most is the ability to create a block of content, save it off somewhere, and then dynamically drop it into posts based on rules, right? So I can say, if this is a member, and you can go look at, if you go to chrislema.com/blog and then you see membership and you click it and you start looking at membership posts, before the third H2, before the third heading, there's often a block that drops in that says, which is the right membership plugin for you? That little bit of content is now a block, and that block can be put anywhere you want. And you can put timer restrictions on it, visibility restrictions on it, placement restrictions on it, rules for when it appears. That's the whole benefit of Gutenberg, is that it breaks everything apart into these blocks that then you can use and reuse as you like. And that's my favorite. So there you go. Hope that helps you. Hope you are able to check some of those things out, and have a great day.
Hey Jamie, thanks so much for inviting me to do this video. Big congrats on the 3,000 subscriber milestone, and I'm excited to answer your questions that you have prepared. But first, I should probably introduce myself. I'm Lesley. I'm co-founder of Newsletter Glue, which is a WordPress plugin that lets you write, build, and send newsletters and newsletter templates directly inside the WordPress block editor. So enough about me, let's head over and answer some questions. The first question is, what are your favorite plugins and why? So for me, the 3 plugins that I always install in any new site I build are Yoast, Redirection, and TinyPNG. So Yoast is an SEO plugin, and I'm not a professional SEO expert by any means. So having Yoast come in and, optimize my site for me for search engines is really helpful. I love the little checklist and the red light, green light thing that they do. Once all of that's checked, I can publish the post and not worry about SEO beyond that. The next one is the redirection plugin. The redirection plugin lets you manage your 301 redirects as well as check on your 404 errors. So that all sounds like a bunch of code words. So let me explain what that means. 301 redirects is basically when you take a permalink or a URL and you point it to a different URL instead. So my personal site is leslie.pizza, and let's say I wrote a post and I titled it Congrats Jamie. So it would be leslie.pizza/congrats Jamie. This is all for example, of course. And so you tell me, hey, thanks for the post. Can you instead change the URL to Congrats Poodlepress, because that's the name of my YouTube channel and I don't want people to get confused. So all I need to do because of this redirection plugin is go back to my post and change the permalink to Congrats Poodlepress instead of Congrats Jamie, and the redirection plugin just handles all of that for me. So visitors just get automatically redirected and they are none the wiser, and that's just kind of a nice experience for them. The third plugin that I really like is the TinyPNG plugin, and that's an image compression plugin. So let's say I uploaded an image of my dog. When I upload it onto WordPress, the TinyPNG plugin just kind of automatically compresses that down in the background without me having to do anything. Yeah, that just kind of makes my life easier because I don't have to worry about manually compressing images. So the next question is, what are your favorite themes and why? So my favorite theme right now is Blocksy, and I like it because it's kind of the perfect combination of powerful features, easy and intuitive to use, beautiful, and not bloated with unnecessary features. I also really like everything that Anders Noren does. He makes some really beautiful, simple, pared down themes. You can pretty much just activate any of his themes right out of the box and expect to have a beautiful site. And I can't say the same for most other themes. The last one that I kind of want to shout out is to the Automatic team, actually. So they don't, or in my opinion, they don't do a good enough job about publicizing and promoting all of the themes that they built, but they've actually been kind of behind the scenes uploading a whole bunch of themes consistently. And if you search in the theme directory for Automatic themes, you'll actually find a whole bunch of really nice, simple, and interesting themes on there. The next question is, what's your favorite host? To be perfectly honest, I don't really have a favorite host. I think that the hosting industry is really competitive, and any big brand name host you've heard of is probably going to be good enough. The next question is, what's your favorite non-WordPress tool? And for me, that has got to be CleanShot, which is a screen capture and screen recording tool. I use it every single day, and I talk about it and promote it at least once or twice a week. So what I like best about it is that it gives me all of these super easy to use tools to mark up screen captures. So drawing arrows, pixelating confidential areas, highlighting stuff, writing text, adding steps, so 1, 2, 3, 4, all of that stuff is just super easy when you use CleanShot in comparison to if you use the native preview app on Mac. Likewise with screen recording, it's really easy to just capture 5 minutes or 3 minutes of a particular part of your screen, and then you can upload it onto the cloud, and it gives you a link really easily so that you can paste that link into support videos, which is what I often use the tool for. And yeah, it's just kind of made my day-to-day screenshot and screen capture workflow much, much easier, and I couldn't recommend it highly enough. The last question is Gutenberg Yes or No? So for me, it's a simple and super biased hard yes, because Newsletter Glue, the plugin that I run, works off of Gutenberg. Yeah, so we are just kind of super tightly integrated into Gutenberg. So of course for me, again, very biased, but for me, I like the Gutenberg project and I'm a huge fan of where it's going. And that's it. I hope these answers were useful to you and your subscribers. Congrats again for reaching the 3,000 milestone. I can't wait till you reach the 10,000, 100,000, and 1 million subscriber milestone. I will definitely be there cheering you on.
Hi everyone, BopWP here. I hang out over on dothewoo.io, website for WooCommerce builders, but I'm not really here to talk about that. I'm here to, first of all, congratulate Jamie on hitting 3K subscribers. Man, as a content creator for over a decade, I know how tough it is getting subscribers, and a big congrats, especially since I've never hit 3K myself. So way to go, Jamie. I'm hoping you carry on that tradition and keep building it up. My stack told me to start with 3 favorite plugins. Now, I love Jamie, but man, these are so tough because this is stuff that I've used on my site since I don't build sites. So I'm going to go through real quick 3 plugins. Yoast, and the reason I mention these, I mentioned Yoast already, is that these are basically plugins I probably have had my site since for years and years and years, a lot of years. So Yoast, SEO, I've used a premium version for a long time. I basically couldn't live without it. And, as far as other ones, the Broken Links Checker, that's been a lifesaver. Now, probably because I write so much content over the years and being able to pick up those. And even as a podcaster, I put a lot of external links in there and I want to make sure they're working. So it's nice to catch those. And the third one, God, I can't help this. It's got to be WooCommerce. I mean, I've used WooCommerce since it came out and it's been on my site. I've sold everything but physical products. So it's been a godsend for me to basically sell whatever I need to sell online, especially a lot of virtual stuff. So WooCommerce, what can I say? Gotta love it. The other thing he asked me is 3 themes. Now this is kind of strange because I haven't, always changed a lot of themes. I'm going to actually go through my 3 phases of themes, which would probably put those in my favorite. The first one was I did a lot with Genesis StudioPress themes for many years. They were easy, flexible. They just did what I needed to be done. Not too long ago, I moved over to GeneratePress again. Loved it. Simplicity, powerful, very lean. Used that for a long time. And then I had a developer, or actually an agency, redo my site recently. So they put Astra in for the tools that they had put in there. That was the best bet. And so far, I've loved it. So I'm going to say those are my 3 favorite because those are the 3 most recent I've used. Hosting, again, hey, there's so many hosts. They do great stuff, and I'm going to just go by experience. My favorite hosting right now is Liquid Web because I'm on them, and they've, done an amazing job. Uptime, it's like my site hardly ever goes down. And what can I not say but give the hosting that I'm using right now as my favorite because they did such an awesome job. So that really is it. Outside of WordPress, I use a lot of different tools, and I wish I could go through them all, but Jamie said I can just share one, so I got to stick to Jamie's rules. One of the ones I've over the last few months really used a lot of is ClickUp. It's a way to organize, whether you're an individual or a team, just to put everything everywhere. I've used Evernote, I've tried others, and nothing really worked my bizarro way of creating, lists and keeping content and bookmarking and all this stuff. ClickUp. Go check it out. It has saved my life. I'm able to organize my life, which is an amazing thing in itself. So ClickUp should feel extra special because of that reason, because my life is not easy to organize. Gutenberg, yes or no? Oh, man. I used Gutenberg when it came out of the gate in 5.0, and I say yes. I guess it's a yes because I've used it for a long time now. Oddly enough, the rebuild of my site, I'm using Beaver Builder a lot for my pages and my posts, which is cool because it works and it's fitting the need I have right now. But Gutenberg, I love it. I sympathize with everybody else that has had struggles with it. I know that, the builders I deal with, they've had to do it on that side of things. And yeah, I can feel for you. Other people that are doing client work, agencies that are doing sites, you have to deal with this and your clients. Yeah, I feel for them too. And just new users or people that are used to, I guess, really the old editor, classic editor, and having to move over. But, we're in the tech world. Things got to change. And I think it's for the better. And I think there's a lot of potential. So it's definitely a yes. I love using it. Actually, my workflow, when I was using it a lot more, improved compared to the old classic editor, which a lot of people have said just the opposite. So really, that's it. That's my stuff. Thanks for listening to me. Congratulations to Jamie on 3K subscribers. I figure he just needs to add a 0 on that, and soon he'll be at 30K. So way to go, Jamie. And thanks everybody for listening. You can find me over at dothewoo.io.
Hi Jamie, congratulations to your 3,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel. This is amazing for all your hard work you've done. Thank you, and I can't wait what happens with your YouTube channel next year and what you're gonna do and what kind of amazing cool new videos you put out. You asked us a bunch of questions, and here are my answers. So my favorite WordPress plugins, 3 maximum you said. So first of all, the Gutenberg plugin, because we are developing for Gutenberg at the moment, and it's just exciting to see all the things happening in the WordPress space with Gutenberg. So this is my first pick. Then also super exciting is the WooCommerce Blocks plugin, because it helps create the blocks for WooCommerce and getting WooCommerce ready for full-site editing and block themes. And I also want to mention the Anti-Spam Bee plugin from the Plugin Collective, because it's just an amazing initiative that they picked up this plugin and maintain it for so many years. They're doing an amazing job, and it's a cool alternative plugin for anti-spam on WordPress. Next, you ask our favorite themes, and of course this is hard for me to answer. Of course, we love our own themes creating for WordPress, so obviously I have to say our iKnow theme, which we create on our iKnow website, where we build blocks, and now we have the full site editing block theme, the first one for iKnow. Obviously I love that, and it's also exciting at the moment to follow the 2022 theme, which will be the first default full site editing block theme on WordPress, so it's exciting to follow the development there, so I add that to my list. Next one, you said favorite hosting. So my favorite hosting, it's also the hoster we use, it's Kinsta. This is easy to me to answer this question, because ever since we moved there, was it last year, we had a lot of trouble with hosting before, and now we're just happy fellas, no problems, and they have amazing support and helped us out so many times. So Kinsta is my pick there. Favorite non-WordPress app or tool? I have to say, working with Manu together as a team, creating design and development for WordPress, it has to be Figma, because it's so amazing. It's changed so much. You can work and collaborate amazingly together, and you can build these awesome components which help so much for our blog development. And yeah, we just love Figma. Next question. Gutenberg yes or no, and why? Obviously, yes, yes, yes. We can't wait. It's tough. It's been a long road. A lot of changes happened, but I think it's just important for WordPress being there for such a long time, and obviously also a lot of WordPress users rely on us developers creating the best experience on the web for them possible. So I'm pro Gutenberg, because I think it's important to evolve, and even if it's not an easy road to go, changing something that has been there for long. But I'm obviously pro Gutenberg, so yeah, that's my answer. Thanks so much, and see you on the web and on YouTube soon. Thanks so much for asking me to join here.
Hey, my name is Lee. I am a WordPress developer, and I like to say that I'm a block-obsessed WordPress developer because I love building with blocks, but we'll get to that here in a second. So I want to go through the list of some of the WordPress stack I use for some of my work. So I build WordPress sites, plugins, themes for myself, but then I also build them for clients and use them for client projects as well. So for the little agency side of my business, I love using Elementor. Actually, I use that for all of my client work. It makes it really easy to quickly build beautiful sites. They've got a whole bunch of parts and fully done websites that you can go in and tweak for all of your customers' needs. And I love their design systems and tooling that comes with that. With that being said, I also love building with blocks. So for all my personal stuff, I use a plugin that I built called WP Draft. It makes it really easy to add Tailwind utility classes to the block editor, which is kind of cool because it gives you a lot of extra functionality and ability to style core block plugins. So eventually I want to move all of my agency work over to Gutenberg only. I'll probably be using my Draft plugin. For themes then, I've got, I use Elementor's Hello theme just as my default theme for all my client work. It's just easy. I know it inside and out. It's pretty lightweight, and it makes it easy. Then for my fun projects and for myself, I use my WP Draft block-based full site editing theme that I created myself. It's actually it's super lightweight. It's 5 kilobytes, so it's in the WordPress directory, and it's the perfect companion to my WP Draft plugin that I use. And I build all kinds of different fun demo sites and templates that are going to be launching soon with that. So those really are my core tools that I use. Otherwise, like as far as like adding plugins to every site, I always add SiteKit for Google Analytics. Makes it super easy to see what keywords are working, who's coming to my site, where they're coming from, and what content is attracting in my traffic. So as far as hosting goes, I am obsessed with spinupwp.com. I use that alongside DigitalOcean. So with SpinUp, it makes it really easy to manage and launch WordPress sites using, pretty much any cloud hosting provider like AWS, DigitalOcean, the list goes on and on. But I use it with DigitalOcean and then just launch all of my sites on SpinUp.wp. They provide SSL certificates. You can have deploy scripts to easily install and activate plugins and themes, and that's my go-to, and it's affordable, so you can't go wrong. Finally, to the last question, as far as Gutenberg, heck yes, I'm obsessed with blocks and building block plugins and themes and websites, and eventually I'm going to move all of my stuff over. Once everything stabilizes and full site editing comes out here soon, I'm going to be a Gutenberg only shop. I think it's really lightweight, sites load super fast. I think it's going to really speed up the build process for building and launching, not just simple sites, but more complex sites as the Gutenberg ecosystem grows. So that's it. Those are my pro tips. Thanks for having me. See you soon.
Hi there, my name is Nick Diego, and I'm a WordPress developer. So first question, favorite plugins. So whenever I start a new site, whether it's for myself or for another project, I always install Yoast SEO. I use the premium version of that. You can also use the free version. I also install Google SiteKit. So it allows you to have Google Analytics right within your site, which I just find handy. Of course, you can go to Google Analytics, but having it in your dashboard is pretty nice. And then also, because I sell a lot of digital products, or at least I have in the past, for about the last, 5-6 years, I've been using Easy Digital Downloads. And I've liked that a lot. It's been the easiest way to sell digital downloads for me. So the next question we have here is favorite themes. So again, I build a lot of my own themes for my own needs, But when it comes to themes these days, I'm really enamored with a lot of the full site editing themes that are coming out. There aren't very many of them, but a couple notable ones is Tova, and I have to shout out Frost by Brian Gardner. Full disclaimer, I'm working with Brian on that. But these are themes that kind of take or kind of leverage the new functionality in Gutenberg and WordPress. And I fully expect to the next year or two, full site editing themes are going to kind of be the way to go. And some of these themes that are coming out now, including 2022, which should be coming out in January with WordPress 5.9, are kind of paving the way for new ways to build themes in WordPress. Favorite hosting. I go a bit off the beaten path here. So I've always hosted my own sites, and I've done this for probably about a decade now through DigitalOcean. So DigitalOcean allows you to have your own servers, virtual servers, and then I've paired DigitalOcean with ServerPilot, and ServerPilot provides you with a way to easily manage WordPress on top of DigitalOcean. So, managing your own servers is not for the faint of heart, but that's what I've used for a long time. Most recently, I've spun up some websites using WP Engine as well. So those are really the only two hosting platforms that I've used since my beginnings in WordPress. Favorite non-WordPress app or tools? I know Figma is a big thing these days, but I've been a Sketch user from the beginning. So I use Sketch a lot to do mockups and even design icons and all that kind of stuff. So Sketch is definitely one of my go-tos. When it comes to code editors, I have fallen in love with Atom. I know there's a lot of everyone has their favorite code editor, but I use Atom, which is by GitHub. And what else out there that I use? Yeah, those are pretty much the two things. Oh, actually, for video recording, I really like ScreenFlow for doing demo videos and stuff. It's more expensive, a bit more of an advanced application, but ScreenFlow is awesome if you're on a Mac. So that's a great one too. And then the final question is Gutenberg, yes or no? So I'm a huge Gutenberg fanboy. I'll be the first one to say that it's got its issues, it's new technology, but I kind of definitely see it as the future of WordPress. That's not to say that the past was bad or wrong or anything. It's just that there's a lot of great new functionality that's coming to WordPress that I think will, from a user perspective, eventually really improve the way that we work with WordPress websites. So that's what I'm focused on right now, whether it's working on full site editing themes like Frost. I have a bunch of my own personal projects related to blocks and Gutenberg, namely block visibility. And I just see a lot of potential in it. Now, and things that you can do now or will be able to do that you just simply couldn't even fathom in the classic editor. So I'll be the first to sympathize with those who maybe are not so enthusiastic about Gutenberg. And I'll be the first one to tell you there's a lot of improvements that are still needed with Gutenberg and as WordPress evolves. But I'm all on board, and I'm going to be doing my part, especially with contributions to core, to make sure that Gutenberg is the best it can be. So hopefully that answers all the questions. I may not be the best. Maybe you should. Not everybody should be running their own servers on DigitalOcean, but that's what I've used, and hopefully you guys found this useful.
My name's Paul Lacey. I'm a designer half of the time, and the other half of the time I'm a podcaster. So 50% of the time I'm trying to make people not think, and the other half I'm trying to help people to think a little bit harder about stuff. Anyway, so top plugins. Let's see. Easy peasy. Classic Edit. No, I'm just messing around. Beaver Builder, Beaver Themer, Advanced Custom Fields Pro. That's my 3 picks for my core stack. With that particular set of plugins, I can do basically anything I want, and it really suits my workflow. It suits my particular skills and lack of in certain areas as well. And for me, that is just the way that I like to build websites and the way that I mean to in the future. I want to add a few more in because just choosing my standard stack is going to be a little bit boring. So I'm going to chuck in a recommendation for a performance plugin, Perf Matters. It's not a caching plugin, it's a script management plugin. So you can decide what scripts are loading into any given page or particular set of pages you want. So if you're not using a form on the home page, then why are you loading the form script into the page? It's just wasting time that has got to be downloaded to the site. If you're using Google Maps but only on the contact page, you don't need the API to be pulled into every single page. So Perf Matters helps you control all of those things so that you're efficiently sending the right stuff to the browser and you're getting the fastest possible load speed that you can get on that side of things. There's one more that I want to mention that I really love in terms of like plugins that got me excited in the last couple of years that came out as new things. For me is Presto Player. It's a video embed plugin that allows you to embed your YouTube videos or your Vimeo videos with a custom skin over the top. But for me, the best part about it is you can hook it up to a CDN called Bunny CDN, and you can stream your own videos from Bunny CDN straight into the player, and you don't get all of the junk scripts that come with Vimeo and YouTube and stuff like that, so you get absolutely fantastic performance. In terms of hosting, I'm not going to name a particular host. I'm in the podcasting space. I need sponsors, so I can't upset anyone, right? But I'm going to tell you that the type of hosting for me is super important. What I want is a balance of power, customization, and also flexibility. And for me, what that means is a VPS server. The one that I use for the majority of my client sites is Cloudways. It's not the best price, but the ease of use is just phenomenal on that. When I have more edge cases, I'll go with RunCloud. So my own development server is on RunCloud because I can buy a super cheap but super powerful VPS, plug it into RunCloud, and I'm paying just a couple of dollars for multiple CPUs, multiple gigabytes of RAM. It is absolutely amazing. My own site as well runs on a GoDaddy VPS, funnily enough, and the crazy thing was it outperformed the other ones that I was using. So yeah, VPS for me is the way to go. I'm not really into the managed hosting space. I used to use those. For me, they don't present good value. For other people, they are perfect. So again, whatever works for you. For me, it's VPS. All right, non-WordPress products. Thrivecart is a checkout. It helps you create funnels or just run checkouts to things like WordPress care plans or products or digital products and stuff like that. 50% of all my income is processed through Thrivecart and then onto Stripe. And it just allows me to ad hoc create different digital products or productized services and sell them as a freelancer super easy. ConvertBox is a pop-up and notification bar app, and what it allows you to do is log into one central dashboard and control all the pop-up campaigns or the notification bar campaigns throughout all of the sites that you want to manage. So if a client calls me up, or even for my own site, and I want to put a new pop-up somewhere, I don't even have to log into the WordPress dashboards and try and figure out what I had on that site or what plugin was there. I just log into ConvertBox and I can control all the sites from everywhere. And in terms of like an added value product for as a freelancer to offer to care plans, that is great because I'm able to offer that particular product as part of my managed service. All right, Gutenberg, yes or no? The Gutenberg block editor is the future of the core software. There is no doubt about that. So you can decide that you're going to get on board because of that, or you can decide that you're going to leverage the array of plugins and page builders or whatever you want that people use to do WordPress the way that they like to do it. Bear in mind, though, that while Gutenberg block editor is the future right now, the future isn't going and buying or installing 4 or 5 different block packs to try and bridge the gap between the things that the block editor doesn't do yet that it will do in the future. Adding all of those extra bloat and plugins right now is just a moment in time. That isn't the future. So if you are going all in on Gutenberg, maybe you want to wait a little bit, watch Jamie's channel. He'll keep you up to date and you'll know when it is the right time for you to jump over, or if it's never the right time for you. And if not, don't worry, you got tons of choice out there.
WordPress asked me to do a video about the most controversial topics in WordPress. And of course, I am happy to oblige. That man is Jamie Marsland. I'm congratulating him on his journey to 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. Man, I got 14,000. You'll get there soon, Jamie. Trust me, you'll get there soon. You can find me at mattreport.com, thewpminute.com, and I'm the director of podcaster success at a company called Cassos.com. Let's just kick it off with the top 3 plugins that Jamie asked me to mention. Of course, I got to give it up to Seriously Simple Podcasting plugin. It's our plugin there at Castos. If you're looking to start a podcast, it doesn't get any easier. Host a free podcast right out of your WordPress website when you're ready to upgrade to get better analytics, faster CDN delivery, and just a more rock-solid, stable podcast hosting solution. You upgrade to Castos. Plugin number 2 is going to have to be my tried and true Gravity Forms. Love Gravity Forms, use it on every site. Even though Carl Hancock doesn't really like me that much, I continue to use it. It's the longest premium plugin that I've been paying for. And number 3, I got to give it up to my plugin, Easy Support Videos. If you're looking for an easy way to support your customers through videos inside the WordPress dashboard, check out easysupportvideos.com for that plugin. Number 2, favorite themes and why. My favorite theme of all time, and I use this on Matt Report and the WP Minute, is the Chaplain theme by Anders Noren. Pretty much anything that Anders Noren puts out, I love. I have to give it up for the Chaplain theme, number 1. Number 2, if I were a freelancer starting a new WordPress consultancy, agency, I would really look at the Nev theme by Theme Isle. I know it doesn't get as much mention as, a theme I'll mention in a minute, but all of the big themes, it doesn't always get thrown in the mix, but I think folks should pay close attention to the Nev theme and their collection of plugins that support that theme. And then number 3, I have to give it to GeneratePress. I think what they're doing over at GeneratePress is amazing, and what they're doing with Generate Blocks is even better. So really excited for that. Favorite hosting, and this is what I mean, this is some controversial stuff. I don't really always give a vote to the favorite hosting because it is so varied. I worked at Pagely for 3 years. They're now acquired by GoDaddy. I think if you're looking for rock solid hosting for big projects, one should look really carefully at their web host first, like a Pagely. Or if you're looking for something more value-based, certainly something like a Kinsta seems like a fine solution. Or if you're looking for a DIY solution, I would say something like a Spin-Up WP. I answered 3 there, even though there was only 1. But I think it's going to vary on the project, and it's not always about the cheapest hosting that you can find. Favorite non-WordPress app or tool? Simplenote. I use it. It is an automatic product. It is a simple note-taking app, as the name infers, and I just love it. Use it every day. Just everything goes in it, from writing to notes to ideas. I just can't stop using it because it is so simple. I wish that it did a little bit more, but it's also the simplicity, the ease of just opening up, writing a note, and just knowing that it's always going to be there across all my devices. And then I'm really looking a lot more at things like Notion, Todoist, Discord. There's a bunch of other apps that I really love, but my day-to-day has got to be Simplenote. Gutenberg, yes or no, and why? Again, another loaded question. Gutenberg is, it's here to stay. Obviously, I want to stop saying that. I hope we all stop saying that because it's been years. And I do like where it's headed. It's taking a lot longer to smooth some of the most obvious rough edges, to put it politely. And basic things like dragging and dropping blocks into columns and setting up columns are still something that is a struggle, and it shouldn't be. I think it's a fantastic tool to be available in core WordPress, but there are tools out there like Beaver Builder that are page builders that have their opinion on building pages, and I think what we'll see is page builders will not go away, that there will be an opinionated way to approach building themes. And vote with your dollars. If you really like something like a Beaver Builder, keep your license going. But at the end of the day, Gutenberg is really powerful. It will become really powerful. And at the end of the day, we'll give a lot of our end users of WordPress some strong flexibility and some really nice features for building a website with WordPress. That's all I got for you today. It's mattreport.com, cassos.com if you want to start a podcast. Congrats to Jamie hitting 3,000 subscribers. It's not an easy road. Keep it up. Smash that like button. Subscribe to his channel. Retweet all the things he does. It's not easy being a content creator. All right. Till next time.
Hey, WordPress people. It's Keith here from High Rise Digital. I've got a few questions that Jamie's asked me, so I'm going to do my best to give some insightful answers to those. First question. favorite plugins and why. I'm going to be really boring here, I think, and give what are probably going to be some of the most popular answers. But on nearly every website that I've built, and we have, and as High-Rise Digital have built in the last 5 years, we've had advanced custom fields on there, we've had Gravity Forms, and we've had Yoast. So advanced custom fields, we used heavily pre-Gutenberg to give content editors the ability to add interesting formatting to a page, add lots of different types of data. Super easy way to create a much richer content management experience in WordPress. Today we still use it because it allows us to build custom Gutenberg blocks without actually having to know any React and get into that whole world. So that's been a real lifesaver for us. Gravity Forms is our favorite form builder plugin, mainly because it's the one we know the best, and I've been using that one for nearly 10 years as well. Pretty much does everything that we've ever needed it to do. There are a whole load of extensions, add-ons for it. If the core functionality doesn't get you far enough, it's never let us down. And very boringly is Yoast, the number one SEO plugin, and it does everything that I need it to do, and everything that my clients needs it to do, and usually a whole lot more on top. We rarely need to go for the premium option. The free option's usually enough for our needs and our client needs. Question 2. Favorite themes and why? Well, I build themes, so my favorite theme is probably going to be the next one that I'm going to build, a custom theme for a client. We very rarely actually just use off-the-shelf themes, so we don't have too much experience in them. I would say recently I've been keeping an eye on theme development, especially because of Gutenberg. So block-based themes and now the full site editing themes are really, really interesting. I did a lot of deconstruction of the 2021 theme and I learned a whole lot from that. 2022 looks like it's going to be amazing. And then there's some really incredible work going on in the community. Special hat tip, I think, to Anders Noren, who's just building the most beautiful looking themes I've ever seen. Themes like, I think it's Tove or Tova, absolutely stunning full site editing themes, so definitely check that out. Favorite hosting? I don't know if I would say I have a favorite host, but the one that we're using the most at the minute is, from a managed hosting point of view, is Kinsta. So we've used a few different hosting platforms before, and we've just found Kinsta to be great in terms of their support. I really just like the platform. Everything seems to be easy. It's very WordPress specific. Sites are pretty fast. So no real complaints with Kinsta. They've been really great. So I would go for Kinsta from a managed point of view. If you want to get a little bit deeper into the weeds and kind of do a self-managed version, we've had a lot of success using SpinUp.WP mixed with DigitalOcean. So we'll buy a DigitalOcean droplet, stick SpinUp.WP on the top of it, and it allows us to pretty easily spin up new WordPress websites on the DigitalOcean platform, which makes things super cheap and really, really fast. But you need a little bit, a few more skills to handle that side of things, which luckily my business partner Mark has. Number 4, favorite non-WordPress app or tool. Again, I'm just going to go for the one that I use the most, probably aside from my code editor, which I kind of change quite regularly based on what people are talking about at the time. But the one that's just kind of sat there in the background and done a really good job for me for a long time is Tower. It's a Git tool. Basically gives you a graphical interface, user interface for Git. So I don't need to be constantly in the command line. I just find I'm not really a command line person. So something like Tower helps me get all the power that Git brings and version control brings in general, but without needing to know how to use the command line in any depth. So I find that really, really, really valuable, and I've been using it for a really long time. So that's Tower. And the last question is Gutenberg. Yes or no, and why? Really tough question. But I am a firm yes, actually. I think it's been a pretty painful process, and especially at High Rise Digital, we've struggled. We've wanted to adapt, and we've tried to adapt, and we're still trying, and we're still working at it. And it's been a lot of work, and it's been quite a lot of pain. But when I build websites now, I'm actually having a lot of fun building them. Apart from the frustrations, things change, things break, and I can bang my head against the desk. But generally, I can do a lot more, or I can enable my clients to do a lot more. There's some just really powerful stuff in there. You can do a lot with just the core blocks and a sprinkling of CSS on the top. It really is quite mind-blowing how far you can get without actually having to do a whole lot of work. And it really does give clients just massive flexibility. Marketing managers, I found, absolutely love it, because they don't want to have to commission us to design and build a new template every time they have a new campaign. So we're getting pretty good feedback from clients in general. And it is getting better, mostly. So for now, I'm a yes. It's, like I say, it's been difficult, but I think the future is pretty bright. And we do have to remember that as developers, I think we can be quite self-centered in the sense that we want WordPress to be a developer product. We want it to be great to develop on. But really the end goal is the end user. It's the person writing the content, publishing content, like the owners of the websites. So I do think that the experience in general is probably better, or at least it will be in the right hands. So I'm a yes for Gutenberg. Hope that was useful. Thanks for the opportunity to speak to you. Bye.
Hey there, my name is Rich Tabor, and I write about WordPress, in particular Gutenberg, on my blog richtabor.com. I'm the head of product for a platform of site design and creation tools for the block editor called Extendify. So for the questions, the first of which is, what are my favorite plugins and why? I would certainly say that I'm all about block plugins. Collection-wise, CoBlocks is my favorite, although I am a bit biased there. But in the realm of single block plugins, there are a lot of interesting blocks out there, such as the Layout Grid block by Automatic. This allows for more creative approaches to designing and laying out pages. So plugin-wise, I think anything block related, I'm going to definitely check out and probably use on my own site. The next question is, what is my favorite theme? So I'd have to say that 2022 is by far the most inspiring default theme that has been created to date. I know it doesn't land until 5.9 in January, but y'all, this theme sets the baseline for the future of WordPress, and I'm really excited about it. 2022 is setting the standard for how this new full site editing era of WordPress is going to handle themes, while also laying the foundation for any theme that's created after this point. I mean, these themes are very different. They're not just a set of styles for your website. It's more of a framework that can be built off of, and more of a starting point for building your entire website off of. And they're more manageable for everyday folks to create and build on top of. We've been saying for years that themes are changing, but yeah, it's finally here. Like, this is the big one here in January. Third question is, what is my favorite hosting? I'd have to go with the tried and true hosting at GoDaddy. The folks behind the scenes are still really good friends of mine, and I know they're working hard to deliver the best WordPress hosting experience around, and it shows, it honestly does. Question 4, I love this one. It's a bit outside of WordPress, but it's, what is my favorite non-WordPress app? And I'd have to say that my go-to, and I know it's kind of cliche, but Figma is killing it on the design front. Absolutely slaying. It's incredible how simple and intuitive it can be, and I use it a lot when I'm referencing how things could potentially be within Gutenberg, even on the design front. On the productivity side, with work, Linear is really an awesome issue tracking tool that has helped my team at Extendify ramp up productivity big time. I enjoy both of these tools a ton, and they're both just a delight to use, and they're designed really, really well. So the last question is simply Gutenberg, yes or no? I mean, you might know, but I've been all in on Gutenberg for a while now, and that's not changing. There's still a lot of work to do, particularly around the fine-tuning of the editing flow and the full site editing experience all around, but I am confident that we're moving in the right direction. In all, I'm just incredibly thankful to be part of this era of WordPress, and I'm really excited for what's coming up next. So thanks.
Hey, this is Kim Doyal of kimdoyal.com, and here are the answers to the questions. So, what are my favorite plugins and why? As a marketer, this is probably not going to be a surprise. So the first one is Link Whisperer. I love Link Whisperer. It is super easy to add internal links to my content. So that way I don't have to go searching. So I just add Link Whisperer, update the post, and I can find great internal links for my own content. Another one is Newsletter Glue, number 2. This is a newer plugin, and love Newsletter Glue because I am a huge fan of newsletters, and it gives you the ability to essentially write it once and publish it twice. So you can build it in your site and then go ahead and send it to your email service provider. And let me just tell you, I've used this with ActiveCampaign, anxiously waiting for the ConvertKit link, and it looks better than the native ActiveCampaign emails. So it also looks stellar, and their support is amazing. And then lastly is Trapetto, which is a WordPress form plugin. However, it looks like Typeform. So you can build WordPress contact forms, or any type of form really, with Trapetto, and they look just like Typeform. So I love the way stuff looks. So it makes really good looking forms. What are my favorite themes and why? I don't really have favorite themes anymore, honestly. I would say back in the day it was StudioPress, hands down. I love Genesis. And now I pretty much just use Beaver Builder, and GeneratePress is a favorite theme as a base theme, but not really doing a whole lot, honestly, with themes. I've kind of pivoted a lot more to the content and marketing side of things, but again, it was StudioPress, Genesis. I would say GeneratePress. I like how clean and easy it is to use. My favorite hosting is my current host, right? That would be bad if I said it wasn't. It's Convasio, and Convasio is a newer managed WordPress hosting company. We have an e-commerce brand, a business partner. We've got an e-commerce, and my personal site. They're both on Convasio, and I love it. Their support is amazing. You know, it's a newer hosting company, but hands down, their support is fantastic, and it works great. Easy enough, right? My favorite non-WordPress app or tool is ConvertBox all day long. I love that friggin' tool. It makes it super easy to add opt-ins, embedded, ribbons, pop-ups, whatever you need. But I love that there is conditional logic. It's super clean. The editor makes it really easy to build. And it works great with most email service providers so that you do not have to hammer your visitors when they come to the site. If they're already on the list, they don't even need to see it again, which is kind of magical. And now I say that, I probably should check to make sure I have those settings. And as far as Gutenberg goes, I am Gutenberg all day long. I friggin' love it. At first, I was a little bit hesitant, but mainly because it's a better writing experience. It gets a little wonky at times, and so to be expected would be my guess, but I love it. I think it's a cleaner writing experience. It's distraction-free, so to speak. I love that you can add elements into your content super easily. So from a content perspective, I absolutely love Gutenberg. I have not gotten into building pages or anything with it, really. But I love it all day long.
Hi there. My name is Shawn Hesketh, and I'm the creator of WP 101, a WordPress video tutorial site for beginners. There are 3 WordPress plugins that I'm using on most of my sites these days. First of all, Fathom Analytics. I'm using in place of Google Analytics, primarily because of their emphasis on user privacy. So even though they're not tracking our users and evading their privacy in the way that Google does, we still get detailed analytics on all of our traffic so we can make the decisions based on the data that matters the most to us. The second plugin that I'm using is NitroPack, and I'm using this to speed up all of my WordPress websites. It's probably one of the best ways to improve page load times for WordPress and get those core web vital scores that we all need so badly these days. The third plugin that I'm using is WP Mail SMTP, and it's probably the best way to ensure that all of our emails from our WordPress website are actually getting to our customers' inbox. So if deliverability is a problem for you, check out WP Mail SMTP. When it comes to WordPress themes, I'm primarily recommending 3 themes these days: Astra, Blocksy, and Cadence. All 3 of these themes are incredibly lightweight, so they load fast. They're also doing some really creative things with Gutenberg blocks. And I think you can rest assured that all 3 of these themes will also be able to leverage full site editing as soon as that becomes available next year. Without a doubt, my favorite hosting for WordPress websites is Nexus. They've become an incredible partner over the years. And when I migrated WP101.com from my previous managed WordPress host to Nexus, we had almost a 40% improvement in page load times. But also their support has been absolutely tremendous at every turn. So when they say they're the most helpful humans in hosting, they really do a tremendous job of living up to that reputation. When I'm not working in WordPress, you'll usually find me working in ScreenFlow, which is my favorite non-WordPress app or utility. ScreenFlow is a screen capture software, so it allows me to record my screen and create video tutorials, which is primarily how I spend my days. But you can also use it to record direct-to-camera footage like this for talking head videos, or really any kind of promo video you can imagine. Its multi-track editor is fantastic for not only editing video, but also audio. So it's a fantastic way to create just about any type of video for your website. When it comes to Gutenberg and the future of WordPress, I'm all in. Even though it took me a little bit of time to get used to the block editor in the beginning, these days I think it's one of the most powerful ways to create just about any type of page layout you can imagine. And most of the new users of WordPress that we encounter love it and find that it's actually very intuitive to use and that enables them to create just about any type of website that they want. So I'm bullish on the future of Gutenberg and the block editor, particularly once we see what full site editing holds in store for us during this coming year.
Hi there, my name is Vito. I'm the founder at Atarim.io and the co-founder of Bertha.ai. I started my journey building websites for clients from the back of a van as a freelancer using WordPress more than 12 years ago. And from then, I grew to an agency with a team of 12 before pivoting to building products for our industry that basically solves my own challenges and problems through my journey as a freelancer and an agency owner. I would love to answer some of Jamie's questions here. So the first one. My first one is Gravity Forms. I've been using them for more than 7 years now, and I love the extendability of this system and the fact that I can find a bunch of snippets online, as well as a bunch of add-ons from other creators in our community for every use case that I can come up with. And I've built some really complex scenarios with this form system. So definitely recommend them. I do know that nowadays there are other form systems out there that might be a little more slick and a little more, even more feature rich than what Gravity Form has out of the gate, but I'm so used to working with this system. I know it inside and out, and I know every class and every div that is structured into the code. So for me, this is the best one. If you have some knowledge in coding and at least some knowledge in CSS, you can do some magical stuff with Gravity Forms. The second one is Pretty Links. This is a quick and really useful plugin that I install almost on every website that I build that allows you to kind of a Bitly type of scenario, only that it's built into your own website, and it's allowing you to create beautiful links or URLs from long strings. So if you're using query strings, or if you're using UTM tags and you want to beautify those URLs, Pretty Links is really an awesome solution for this, even with their free version that is on the repo. And the third one is Bertha.ai. This is an AI-based content writer for WordPress, and it's built right into the website, allowing you to click any text area within the website itself to generate copy or SEO content, or even like full-on blog posts, product pages, and all of these kind of cool stuff. I like to call it the lorem ipsum killer because there's no need to drop in lorem ipsums if you can click a button and get the actual content in there. And that transformed my position from being or trying to be a copywriter with my bit of broken English, because it's not my native language, to being an editor, because the tool does most of the work with the most advanced AI on the market. And then you can just kind of fix it up, edit it up, and make sure that it fits your needs. So there's even a free version that gives you a bunch of words every single month to use for free. And the premium versions are a lot more extensive and give you a lot more cool features for every type of content on the website. Full disclosure, I'm the co-founder of Bertha. 3 themes. So the first one, and this is my kind of go-to theme over the past couple of years, is Hello by Elementor. It's just a super clean theme, nothing much to it. I rarely use even the header in there or the footer. It's just a frame. That I use that with a page builder. In my case, usually that would be Elementor. And yeah, it just works out of the gate. It's awesome, and it's lightweight, it's free. And this is my go-to. The second one, with the same type of mindset of those modern type of themes, is the Page Builder Framework. It has an awesome founder behind this, and it's really simple and clean. It gives you all kinds of small and pretty basic but powerful functions right inside the customizer, which does most of the stuff that you would need out of the gate. But if you're using a page builder, it becomes even more powerful because it adapts beautifully to every page builder on the market. And the third one is a theme that I've been using for a few years, maybe even 5 years, and that was before the age of page builders, which is Xtheme. It kind of has a built-in page builder into it. It's like a Code Canyon type of theme, but we've built hundreds of projects with this theme, and it's so easy for clients to use that it just made the process pretty awesome for us. We didn't need a bunch of additional plugins or licenses to manage. We just had that one theme that had a bunch of stuff built into it. It's not light, but it was really extensive and very feature rich. So if you don't want to mess up with a bunch of plugins, Xtheme would be an ideal choice in my opinion. For non-WordPress tools or SaaS, and it's kind of a bit of both, it's Atarim. Atarim is my platform that helps web agencies and freelancers to deliver website projects fast. And the way that we do this is we basically tackle the dead time of every project. So if we build a website on our own, if I build a website on my own, it's usually going to take me between 3 to 5 days to build a basic 10-page business website. But as soon as a client comes into the picture, then it becomes a 4 to 6 weeks project. So what happens between the 3 to 5 days and the 4 to 6 weeks? This is the procrastination, the back and forth, a lot of redundant clicks, a lot of lagging in our projects. And this is, I think, one of the biggest challenges of our industry. And what we do with Atarim is we tackle that 83% to reduce project completion by literally weeks, and bringing it to a more realistic time of how long it really does take to build a website, so that the client doesn't disrupt the process. They actually enjoy it, and we can get them to the result a lot faster. So Gutenberg, yes or no? So I'm still on the fence on Gutenberg. I've tried it a couple of times and tried to even start building a website with it, and then went back to page builders. So I know that there is a mindset shift that needs to happen in order for you to take advantage of the functionality of Gutenberg. But I'm still going to stay on the fence for another year or so to see how this product evolves before I'm jumping in and changing a bunch of websites that are already designed with previous tools.
Hey Jamie, first of all, congratulations on 3,000 subscribers. That's amazing. And thank you for including me in this video. I'm really excited to talk about some of my favorite WordPress and non-WordPress tools. So first, my favorite plugins and why. I had a hard time with this. There are a lot of plugins I love. So, and I tried to figure out what is favorite. Is it most used, or is it just like ones I really like? So I did a mix of both. The first one is redirection. This gets installed on every WordPress website I create to easily create redirects for short URLs and friendly URLs. The best example I have of using this plugin is on my podcast website, howibuilt.it. I actually tap into their functions and I hook into the plugin so that when a new episode is published, it automatically creates a redirect for the episode number. So howibuilt.it/243 or whatever. And so redirection is really great for that. It's developer friendly, which I like, but it's also a very easy to use, well-maintained plugin. The second is Blockmeister. Now, there are a lot of plugins that do this, but I think Blockmeister does it the best. You can create block patterns without code. So you can open the editor, the block editor, and Blockmeister, create the blocks you like, save them as a pattern, add them to the categories you want without having to build a plugin. And like I said, there are other ones out there that exist, but I like Blockmeister because it allows you to create those custom categories as well. So big fan of Blockmeister. And that's like the free version. There's a pro version that I haven't really looked into because the free version does everything I need it to do. And then the third one is LearnDash. And I picked LearnDash because it's integral to my business. I've been using it for 5 years now, and I manage all of my courses through LearnDash. I now manage my membership through LearnDash because they just rolled that out. They recently rolled out subscriptions, so I need to see how easy it would be to switch away from WooCommerce subscriptions to just LearnDash. But it's such a great plugin, and it's been growing a lot, and I use it for everything from memberships to courses to cohort-based learning, which I'll be rolling out soon, and LearnDash will be at the center of that. So those are my 3 picks for my favorite plugins. My favorite theme. Now, I have one favorite theme, but I cheated a little bit because there are a couple of companion plugins that I chose with them. And my favorite theme is Cadence. I've been using Cadence for all of my websites for the last year or so. I've been switching my sites away from other themes. I won't name them, but I've just been switching away from other themes, and I've been using Cadence for them. And I think a one killer feature, if I have to pick one from Cadence, is the elements. So I can create block layouts and then assign them a placement. And so I really love this because it allows me to, among other things, create these specific opt-ins for blog posts, right? So I have this automation opt-in where I'm using ConvertKit. I'm placing that at the bottom, or actually the 4th paragraph, after the 4th paragraph of my automation blog posts. I have an Airtable opt-in that I'm placing after the 4th paragraph of most of my other blog posts. And so the elements section is really versatile. It lets you create these reusable areas that are automatically inserted based on a bunch of criteria, and you can show it on specific posts or post types. You can show them to logged in or logged out users and a few other things. And I really think that is a fantastic feature that I otherwise would have had to write a custom plugin for. So I'm a big fan of that and lots of other features in Cadence. And I want to mention the plugins, right? Cadence Pro, which unlocks a bunch of features for the Cadence theme. But then Cadence Blocks and Cadence Blocks Pro, which work hand in hand with the Cadence theme. So I recently removed Beaver Builder from my personal site, Casabona.org, and was able to replace all of the layouts with Cadence and Cadence Blocks and the Pro version of both. So I'm a big fan of Cadence in general, but my favorite theme right now is Cadence Themes. Cadence Theme. Sorry, not Cadence Themes. My favorite hosting, this isn't, I don't think this is a big secret. Nexus is my favorite hosting company. Their managed WordPress and managed WooCommerce hosting are the best I've used. They're really easy to use. They've got features like auto scaling and easy to use cache, which is wild because cache usually ruins everything. And I think they've done a good job of including really nice features, and they keep adding new stuff like WooCommerce automated testing. And so it's really affordable too. I think $19 a month starting for the managed WooCommerce hosting. If you're hosting an e-commerce store that directly makes money, $19 a month should be nothing to you to run your store. So big fan of Nexus and everything they're doing over there. And I host all of my important sites on Nexus. Okay, so this next question was hard. Your favorite non-WordPress app or tool? Because there are a lot of them, but I think I'm going to have to give it to Shortcuts by Apple. I'm a big fan of Shortcuts, especially because now it's on the Mac. And I've been a big fan of automation. I've been doing a lot of automation stuff. I'm a one-man band, and I've been teaching my students and my members how to automate more with a bunch of tools, but I've been digging deeper into Shortcuts because it is on the Mac now, and it unlocks a whole new world of automation to me. I wasn't a big fan of Automator, I think is what the original Mac automation tool was, because it was very programmery, but Shortcuts is more drag and drop. So there are several things I can do here, from my triage to controlling scenes to automating task creation and things like that. And then I can drop them onto my Stream Deck. So Shortcuts on the Mac has allowed me to run automations right from my Stream Deck for things like recording or just being on camera in general, controlling scenes. And that has been a lot of fun to play with and extremely practical as well. So I've got to give it to Shortcuts on the Mac. Sorry to anybody who's not an Apple ecosystem user. And the last question, Gutenberg, yes or no? Well, I think probably a few of my previous answers spoiled my answer for this, which is yes, I am all in on Gutenberg and the block editor. I have courses on how to use the block editor and full site editing especially. I'm really excited for full site editing and where that's going to take theme development. I've been making WordPress themes since 2004, and I cannot wait to see what people do with full site editing and theme.json to really focus on creating beautiful themes instead of getting caught up in all of the, we'll say, under the hood wiring of core. So Gutenberg, yes, it is the way WordPress is going, and I think the fewer dependencies we can have on external tools and the easier we can make development for people is just all good. So those are my answers. Thanks so much again for having me be a part of this video. Congratulations again on 3,000 subscribers, and thanks so much to everybody watching. Until next time, get out there and build something.
Hey guys. My name is Raitis Sevelis, and I work at Visual Composer as a product manager for almost 10 years. And let's get back to the questions. So the first question, my 3 favorite plugins. Of course, the number 1 spot is Visual Composer. I use it on a daily basis. I know it from A to Z, and basically there are no limits when I need to create something with Visual Composer. The second is Yoast, and I use both free and premium version, depends on the project. I work with content a lot, so getting green light in Yoast is something I would love to have. And the third plugin is the one I discovered recently. It's Real Media Library, and it allows you to categorize your images in folders, which is really handy if you work on a project that has tons of images. Okay, so my 3 favorite themes. As I work with Visual Composer, I try to rely on it. This is why I choose basically clean theme, because I don't use themes that much. So the number 1 choice is the starter theme, which is a good pairing with Visual Composer. And the second and third are definitely Cadence and Blocksy, which are pretty nice, feature-rich themes and kind of popular these days. So maybe you heard about them or even use them. WordPress hosting, Cloudways. Definitely Cloudways because of the performance, support quality, speed, everything there. With Cloudways, I'm able to create sites that are green in Google Core Web Vitals, and that's an important these days. The next question, my favorite apps outside WordPress. So the first one is Sketch, since I work with design on a daily basis, and it's pretty handy to create design and move it to development. And for the communication, I use Slack and Zoom, which are apps that I definitely love. Gutenberg Yes or No. Even I'm from the page builder business, Gutenberg is definitely yes for me because it's evolution in WordPress. WordPress is getting better, and also Gutenberg pushes visual editors to become better, to introduce new features, to become faster, and use new technologies like React.js, for example. So these are my answers, and thank you guys for watching, and good luck with your WordPress project.
Hello, James. It's Andrew Palmer here, just back from the States. Still suffering from jet lag, but thanks for giving me an opportunity to answer these 5 questions. Favorite plugins and why? Max 3 plugins. WS Form, my favorite plugin ever. It's a form plugin made by Mark Westergaard, and he lives in the States. He's an English chap. Nothing about that really, but it just does everything. It's drag and drop. It's responsive. It's e-commerce enabled. Connects to Stripe. Connects to Thrivecart, which I use it for. And it's just awesome. So go and have a look at wsform.com. And of course, Bertha.ai, that's mine. So, and Vito's. So let's promote that. I love it. I've just built a website rather for another plugin that a Gutenberg-based plugin that I'm doing, but I won't talk about that. But that's going to be my second favorite plugin, I think. And it's brilliant. So go and have a look at that. And my third, it's always difficult to have real favorite plugins, but Cadence blocks, is it a plugin? Yeah, it's a plugin. Cadence blocks. Favorite themes and why? Cadence. Gutenberg is the future. I know it. You know it. Everybody knows it. People just don't want to admit it. I really do think Gutenberg's the future. That's why I'm developing for Gutenberg. And that's about it, really. Divi has changed my life. No doubt about it. It's a brilliant community, brilliant theme. And it just needs to stop updating every single day. But apart from that, it's brilliant. So there you go. What else is brilliant? Sound like a guy from the Fast Show. Have I done 3 themes? Astra. I mean, we all love Astra. It's really compatible with everything. Gutenberg compatible as well. Elementor. You can put the Divi builder on it if you really want to, but you don't have to. Favorite hosting. I don't have one. I can't stand web hosts. They tell all sorts of lies. It's just ridiculous. There's no such thing as managed WP. I really haven't found one that's totally managed at a reasonable price. Now, GoDaddy have obviously bought Pagely, but not blimey. Who can afford that? Only big corporates, right? But I use GridPane, and I'm a Spartan for them. So, disclaimer. The reason I used GridPane before I became a Spartan, i.e. a digital advocate for them. I love GridPane. I love the way it works. I love the way that I can choose the servers that I can go on, from DigitalOcean to Vulture to AWS to Lightsail, whatever. So that's what I use. And I built my own managed WP solution around that. If we're talking about a UK host good for registrations and good for staging sites and all that kind of stuff, and also reseller packages, 20i.com. Brilliant. Favorite non-WordPress Apple tool? It's here. It's right here. I bought it a few weeks ago, or bought them a few weeks ago. Treated myself. Facebook glasses. All right, I look a little bit of a twit, but you know, they need lenses in them, and I could have got them from them, but they were far too expensive. So next time I go and get lenses for these, I'm going to get lenses for these, and you can take images, pictures, recordings, listen to music. It's Bluetooth enabled. These are great fun. So there you go. Gutenberg, yes, it's obvious, isn't it? It's built in. It's going to be WordPress. It's going to change people's lives, the way they develop websites, and you're doing great stuff on your WooCommerce plugins and Gutenberg blocks and educating people. So yeah, Gutenberg, be a twit not to try it out. See you later. Thanks for asking.
All right. So my name is Vova Feldman, and I'm the founder and CEO at Freemius. We help plugin and theme developers to commercialize their solutions. So I won't share 3 of my favorite plugins or themes because there are so many amazing products in the WordPress ecosystem, but I will mention a few notable ones that we like to use. So the first plugin and the second plugin are related to security. The first one called WPS Hide Login, which basically allows you to customize the URL of WordPress login from the default WP login or admin. The second one called Login Watchdog, which is monitoring for false logins and can block the IP after several attempts. These 2 plugins will really help you to remove, let's say 95, maybe 98% of the WordPress potential attacks. Which is really good and will help you to secure your website. The third one that it's worth mentioning is a nifty plugin called Share a Draft, which allows you to easily generate links that you can share with others so they can see a draft of a blog post or a page before it was officially released. It's very useful. In terms of themes, again, there are tons of really good themes. 3 notable ones that are worth mentioning are Blocksy, OceanWP, and Zakra theme. They're all kind of lightweight, new generation, using extensions, etc., and very flexible to work with. My favorite hosting provider is actually DigitalOcean. It provides the flexibility of ease of use along with full control of your servers. You need to be a little more tech savvy in order to use DigitalOcean, but it's really amazing company and we've been using them for years. Favorite non-WordPress app or tool as a developer, someone who is living in the developer's world in WordPress. So PHP Store, the IDE is definitely the tool that I'm using on a daily basis and my entire team, and highly recommend it to everyone. Whether we use Gutenberg or not, that's the last question. So Gutenberg is getting better every day, and it's pretty exciting to see what will happen with that in the future. But we feel that it's still immature and changing too rapidly, with potential backward compatibility breaks, so we can't really rely and put our production environments relying on Gutenberg. So at this stage, we prefer to use other more stable page builders. Thanks a lot for your time, and hope you'll find that helpful.
Hey y'all, it's your friend Bridget Willard here with BridgetWillard.com, and congratulations on 3,000 subscribers. So my favorite 3 WordPress plugins are Beaver Builder, Revive Social, and EDD. First of all, Beaver Builder allows my designer to create pages in a way that reflects my brand identity. I think it's a great value. I don't think that page builder is going anywhere, and I like Robbie and the guys behind it. Revive Social I use to push my content out on a specific time frame, so I really like that. EDD, Easy Digital Downloads, not the Unemployment Development Department. Easy Digital Downloads is how I sell my ebooks and my plugin, Launch with Words. My favorite theme, I really like 2020. Well, I'm kind of old school. I like 2019, but what I'm using on my site is the Beaver Builder theme, and Rhonda Nagard made a child theme for that. My favorite hosting, that's hard because I like all the hosts, but my current host is Site District. Matt Coppola is a great guy. Love the service, love the speed, love the scale, love that I have, you know, backups and options for making a dev site. All that's great. My favorite non-WordPress app tool would be Xero, Xero. That's my accounting system. I love that. And Gutenberg. It doesn't matter if it's yes or no. I'm known for kind of being a naysayer, but I was always a naysayer about the timeline. What I love about Gutenberg is copy and paste from Google Docs without the span codes. Congratulations again. Bye.
So wasn't that great? I hope you made it to the end. If you did, congratulations. I haven't mentioned what my favorite stack is, so I ought to. So in terms of plugins, I generally use on every site Gutenberg Pro, which is a plugin we built. It adds extra options to the Gutenberg plugin. It doesn't introduce new blocks, just new options to customize it. If you're into content lock-in and understanding what that is, you'll appreciate why we built that. I use Rank Math as well on pretty much every site, or Yoast SEO. In terms of themes, I'm generally using rtheme 18 tags on new sites. You can check it out. It's a free theme, or Astra or Blocksy. In terms of hosting, I'm a big fan of WP Engine right now. I've been using them for a long time. And in terms of apps, this is completely kind of left field, but I've been learning all about painting composition this year. It's great for mindfulness. Here's some of my little doodles I do on an iPhone, probably here or here. And on that, I use an app called Adobe Fresco, which is just a fantastic app. I really love it, just for little doodles. And in terms of Gutenberg, yes or no, absolutely 100% full in on Gutenberg, as you probably are aware if you follow this channel, because that's pretty much all I'm doing tutorials on. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found some of that really, really interesting. I think there's gold dust in those videos for you, hopefully. If you enjoyed this video, if you can give it a thumbs up down below right now, that would be fantastic, because it really helps spread the word of the channel, which is growing apace. Also, every time you do hit the like button, our cats get a little treat. So thank you so much. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button down below and you'll be notified every time I release a new one. Keep well and safe, and I'll see you all soon.